There you are. Lasing. 605 meters. I'm going to call this in. Foxtrot Bravo 10, this is Delta 35. Adjust fire, over.
Delta 35, this is Foxtrot Bravo 10, adjust fire, out.
Grid Echo Sierra, Niner 2, 3, Niner 4, 5, over.
Grid Echo Sierra, Niner 2, 3, Niner 4, 5, out.
Sniper team along fence line, danger close, over.
Sniper team along fence line, danger close, out. Splash, over.
Splash, out. That was kind of fun, but let me fill you in on what I'm up to. A number of months ago, I made a video looking at the possibility, the potential for scope glint to actually happen off of a, regular rifle scope. We see that stuff all the time in the movies and the video games and stuff like this, but how real is it? Well, we got a video exploring that in bright sunlight conditions. Now, there were a number of you who asked, what about picking up a scope at night? Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, that's a silly question. How in the world can you see scope glint at night, maybe under moonlight, when you can't even see it under sunlight in many conditions? But that's not what that question was really all about. Let me explain. With the rise in night vision optics, near-infrared optics, near-infrared illuminators, the possibility of detecting a scope or scope glint is actually a very real consideration in the night. And the way that it works is like this. Now, you may not have known what you were supposed to see or supposed to be looking at in our lead-in footage, but let me go ahead and explain. You see, the near-infrared scopes, and specifically the near-infrared illuminators, will reflect or can reflect off of those scopes. And you may not have noticed it, maybe you did, but there were 2 scopes in that footage. Well, there was no sniper team, just the 2 rifles and 2 scopes out there. Not so sure you saw 2 of them. And both of those were reflecting in the near-infrared and even better under near-infrared illumination. That became very obvious when we were doing those tests. But then what I did is I installed a Tenebrex Kill Flash ARD on my Schmidt & Bender scope, the larger rifle that's sitting out there on the ground, and we tried the experiment once again. The rifle that's on the right side, once again, clearly you can see the glint occurring under near-infrared and near-infrared illumination, but you only pick up the glint on the scope with the ARD if you are pretty much directly in front of that rifle scope. Maybe plus or minus 10 degrees to the left or to the right of that scope. So the ARD may not be necessary in a daytime or daylight situation, but it really is beneficial in a nighttime situation. What's also interesting is there is a red dot, Trigicon red dot mounted on that scope on the right side, and it has an ARD installed on it, and it never reflected, ever. Even though, well, it has a lot smaller surface area, but that ARD also worked very, very well. The problem with some ARDs, of course, is that they are thick. They are fairly thick in the honeycomb type pattern, and they can obstruct your view and also dim the view. However, the Tenebrex that I was using and have used actually out on the range is so fine that you really don't see it. You really don't see it when you're looking through it. Maybe, and I haven't been able to test this, maybe there is a, slight reduction in light transmission because of it. That would make sense, but you really don't have much of a problem seeing things, and you certainly do not see a honeycomb pattern when you're looking through it. So while scope glint is kind of a rare occurrence under full daylight conditions, the ARD device probably absolutely eliminates it, or nearly eliminates it, under a daytime scenario, and greatly reduces it, almost eliminates it, under the nighttime scenario, especially if you are concerned with, or need to be concerned with, those night vision devices. Now, in a military application, the way that it works is this, and there really doesn't even have to be a person there. As I understand it, there are devices now that are put in place. They could be drone-based, they could be standalone type of devices that scan 360 degrees the battlefield, an area of concern, and emitting constantly this near-infrared pulse, relatively strong. When a detection is made, that detection is analyzed. Is that a street light? Is that this? Well, the shape of it, the size of it, probably most likely is a scope, rifle scope, those sort of things. And then, of course, that's followed up with either a drone strike once it's confirmed, mortar, fire, artillery, like we kind of ran through in this one. That's how it goes. And it's actually fairly easy. Once that detection is made, the observer knows their location, the X and Y location. They then know the bearing to that detection. And with a laser rangefinder, you now know the third part of the equation, and that is the distance from the observer to the target location. A little bit of relatively simple geometry, or let the computers do it, and you've got the location of that position of that distant target. Bringing this all just a little bit closer back to home, night vision devices can detect scope glint. ARD devices definitely work. And I hope you found this short video informative and hopefully even a little bit entertaining. Thanks for watching.